Dude, I didn't know that Maximum had a raid leader like video or like a he has like a documentary. I want to watch this. They have it with the conductor.
Come on. Come on. Come on, Kareem. Come on. One.
This is awesome.
Let's kill this fucking boss. Come on.
Love that intro, man. That was sick.
So I think I got my gaming start a lot differently than at least a lot of my peers. I started playing, I think I played like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time as one of my first games, absolute classic. You know, I'd go over to my friend's house, play, you know, whatever they had, Mario Kart, stuff like that. Super like early Nintendo 64 basically was like that era. But as soon as WoW got a hold of me, it was like my main thing. World of Warcraft grasped me, but I feel like it grasped so many people because its sense of progression, not even just like a very natural way of like filling bars up and things like that, but just like progressing your character and your achievements you're getting and your gear and what you've actually accomplished.
We're ready to pump, Zalador. We're ready to pump, baby.
That is something that, at least for a long time,
get your shaman ready.
It actually didn't like fully grasp me until I went really hard on it in college, and then raiding is what I fell in love with.
Oh, I'm not. I got. Oh my God! No! Back up! No! That didn't happen! No!
What other game can you like work closely with 20 people that you like strangely somehow get along with? What group project at work or school or anything where you're working with that many people is it like a seamless process where people generally get along? Like, it's really complicated, right? But like being able to overcome something genuinely that challenging with people that you like and enjoy, and that many of them, you can't replicate it anywhere else. The Race World first really bursted into popularity. You know, since it's come out, it has not stopped growing.
That's true.
A big part of that
it is kind of hard to find 20 people to do something, get it done without like any drama or anything like that at a regular job. And, you know, that's why I just mute everybody in Discord and I rule with an iron fist. No one's allowed to talk when I'm raid leading. Okay? And then we all get it done. Right? Everyone's happy when we get the gear. Easy.
Because people have always wanted to see the top guilds play. It would have probably never happened if Method felt like they didn't have competition, and that's what happened kind of near the end of Legion, is their competition kind of died out.
I pulled bits rings this morning. Let's go.
We can stream the Race World first. They didn't know we existed because we didn't know we existed. I think 5 days before the first race in Old Year, where we were just like, we usually raid all day the first day. Let's just do this whole week, and then we're on the weekend, right? So might as well do it over the weekend. Let's take 5 days and go as hard as we can. And we ended up like almost winning that race with no experience. But Method probably would not have streamed if they knew that we were close to them, right? In fact, I think in an alternate timeline, if we would have randomly won that first race, I wonder what that would have done. I wonder if maybe they stop streaming and we don't start streaming because, again, winning is just so much more important. Back then, it was one team with any kind of money or sponsorship, and everyone else was just a group of friends playing the game for fun, and that was it. No one would have ever made it to this point by being motivated by money. You could have only made it to this point by
running a mythic raid guild is a nightmare.
Just, again, like
I know, dude. It's so much work.
Playing together and like competing, and like we just did that for
Look
fun.
at Trill.
Like, okay, let's try this.
Bruh. That's the best World of Warcraft player ever. God dang. That boy built diff.
Did that for fun. We were like, okay, let's
actually
try
this guy doesn't look like he plays WoW.
It's become so professional.
Looks like a normie.
When we started, we had exactly 26 raiders, I think, in a 20-man raid. Now we have close to 40 people, 32 raiders, and 8 people outside the raid that are like
look at Trill.
Entirely dedicated to just
my boy Trill, dog. He ain't wearing the jersey.
improving the performance of people inside the raid. It's become an entire like coaching staff and everything. But on the road there, we spent the first couple of raids honestly just playing catch up. You know, we felt like we had a really good team, but in hindsight, I don't really think we had a legitimate chance of winning for a while, like 2 or 3 times into it, until we had that base level experience of really how this worked. And that's not even strategy. That's, you know, that's eating and sleeping. You're unable to even put yourself in the position to get better unless you're actually in the lead. And it took us just a long time of doing that, really, to get better. And then obviously now it's just progressed to a point where in these races, it's weird. It's not like you play every week. You play every 6 months, right? If like the 6 month later team...
This is awesome. I did not know that Max just like one day had a group of friends and was like, yo, we normally raid the whole first raid tier like on the first day. Like, why don't we just take the whole week off and see how much we can clear? And then they literally almost beat Method. That's awesome. Did you hear Sod's officially dead since Savage quit? Yeah. I actually, Savix recruited me to join his raid team, so I was in the Discord, and then he posted that they're not raiding anymore. And I'm really happy about it, because I did not want to play Sod.
Were to go up against both us and Echo's, formerly Methods team, from 6 months prior, I mean, you would destroy them. That's how much it's advancing in that amount of time from one raid to the next. So it's been a lot of progress.
I've been randomly thinking, guys, in my head. Do I ever want to go for a race to world first? To just not to win, but to just push myself past any limit I've ever pushed myself and see how far I could get if I really, really tried to clear as many mythic bosses in the first couple of weeks as possible. I've been thinking about it, and it's cool that like Max had that same thought one day, and then he is who he is now, you know?
Well, the first time we won, I would say was a lot. It was, you know, we had been fighting from this with so much opposition. You know, we weren't streaming at first, so people were like anti us just because we were robbing them of content, I guess. It's like the first time we won was like just being able to say like we can do this, and it was a very dominant win.
Tanks are kiting in 3, 2, 1. Let's
And then to follow that up,
Zoth, baby.
A fluke or a one-time thing. We just won immediately right after that as well.
stay alive, ignore seeds. Let's go, dude. Wait, chill.
Come on. Let's go!
I still remember I was in Discord with my friends and we were watching race together, and as soon as they won, I just like started bawling my eyes out, and just knowing how much effort he like,
W
put into
girlfriend.
it just like, I don't know, it made me so happy.
Guys, all I want is a girlfriend who cries when my trinket drops out of my vault because she's so happy for me. Okay? That's all I want. Why is it so hard to find that in life? Okay? That's all I want. It's something real. All right? And look at Max has it. He became a raid leader. Look at his. He's happy. He's happy, huh? Good for him.
I don't know if being on top is what keeps you up at night as much as it just makes you have to work that much harder. And truly at a human level, it's hard to fight complacency when you win multiple times. You can preach it every day.
This girl's propaganda. She doesn't. They don't exist.
Let's not be complacent.
I know.
But there's nothing that
That's
drives
true.
that level of like preparedness and passion and competitiveness than the sting of losing. You can never replicate how bad that feels without it actually happening to you. I used to think that we dealt with losing pretty well because like our guild doesn't like lose its morale. We're very productive. We're trying to get better. But I don't know if losing ever affected us like it did after this last race.
All right, chat. I have some news. So we are going to play until dinner tonight. Take some time off, spend some time together, maybe watch a movie, rent out a bowling alley. And then we are flying home tomorrow, and we are going to come back strong on Monday and finish the race.
Damn. That's tough.
Unfortunately, they had to, you know, put their guildies' mental health first before, you know, the win. So when they had to leave Boston and come back to LA. That was obviously heartbreaking.
First of all, it was really hard to learn from because we just, we don't know how much we did wrong near the end of the race naturally, like where our preparedness was wrong or where, like we were functionally doing things like because our philosophy is bad or something versus how much of it was our brains were just
Bro, why do people tell me that I look like Mac Miller when Max exists? How are you going to tell me that I look like Mac Miller when literally Maximum is Mac Miller, dog? Like, come on.
versus how much of it was our brains were just absolute mush after doing this for 3 weeks, deprived of sleep, and we were probably making bad decisions and becoming easily more frustrated because of all of those factors, right? How much should you change? What if you change everything you did wrong, but a lot of the stuff wouldn't have gone wrong if you weren't in that state? The guild now is very prepared. It's a different tone. It's much more serious. You can see it in testing. All of you guys will see it during the race. I would say we are taking this much more seriously than we ever have before.
Good.
So what I think
that's what's up, man.
makes Max a great raid leader is his ability to communicate, for one. He's very good at talking to people and knowing what they need to hear.
Being a good raid leader is pretty challenging. There's obviously a lot of things inside the game that are super important. You have to understand every class at as high of a level as you can to make the proper decisions of when you should be bringing them.
Agreed. Okay, so one thing about raid leading is like, it's hard to tell the priest, like, use a healer cooldown here instead of like what I had to tell Clemens the other day, which is like, hey, I want you to him here, but I want you to save salvation for the intermission. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's a difference when you know every class, the healer cooldowns and what they're capable of. And like the reason I told him to save salvation for the intermission is because we're getting pulled in. And the best throughput healer cooldown on the move happens to be salvation. So like knowing to save your strongest healer cooldown in the raid for a time when like we're moving and being consistently pulled in. And it's a lot of damage coming out. It's like knowing the other classes in and out is definitely what can make you a good raid leader. I feel like a lot of raid leaders may not know every single class very well, so it can kind of hold them back.
But I think a lot of it comes down to your interaction with people. Yeah, actually, I'll point to a specific experience, actually. It was a job I had in my 20s, one of the many I had, where I worked at a restaurant. I actually managed my brother's restaurant. When you have to like manage not only the high school kid who's doing this, maybe doesn't want to, but needs money, versus like the 22-year-old who's doing it as a college job, versus like the 38-year-old person who's still living paycheck to paycheck and having to like keep all that in line. It's a lot going on, and honestly, it taught me a lot about people and I think how to lead the right way.
He knows how to control his emotions to sort of rally his like raiders, and so that even if they're feeling down, they can look at Max and see that he's like still going strong.
These shots are so funny to me.
Perspective from what I'm doing now, singing. I went to college for music, and I spent some of my professional life in my 20s singing professional chamber music. Something you learn in groups like that is everyone has an incredible voice. But to sing really high quality chamber music, a lot of that is stripping that down and making sure you blend in. Most people are like very confident singers. You want to be the person they hear. If you're not in a solo, you want people to hear your voice. But in reality, to make a really good performance, you guys have to all kind of be on the same beat.
Max is a singer?
Be as one, kind of.
I'm a rapper?
I think a lot of that is like raiding. You have really high level players, and
both
they know
raid
they have to make
leaders?
the same sacrifices as everyone else, and
Crazy.
most importantly, lead by example. So I think a lot of what I've done in leadership has certainly been the strategy and tactical side. We spend so much time thinking about that and doing that and surrounding myself with people who are really good at it. But I think something that I find and feel is really important is, making sure that the atmosphere is right. There's personal accountability. It is completely not allowed to like mess up.
Bro, making sure the atmosphere is good. Like if somebody's toxic or negative and you need people to be positive, like it can bring everybody else down. You got to keep people in line. Yeah. You gotta be that person in the room that kind of like fills that and, cracks a joke if the room needs to laugh, and remember that like, hey, it's not a life or death situation here. We're playing a video game, but we are going to try as hard as we can. You know what I mean? Let's get some sleep and go again tomorrow. Give me a woo on 3.
Up and then just immediately try to blame someone else, or
IP, what's
try
good,
to
bro?
justify it or defend it. Even your best players will mess up, and you move on and you go to the next thing. Everyone knows in my guild when I bring it up to them, it's not personal, but it does need to get brought up. Problems need to get solved. You can't just, you know, just let everything slide by so everyone will be happy. We're a guild that's known for having an excellent atmosphere and being really good at problem solving at the same time, and it took years to cultivate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guild absolutely feels like a family. Everyone is very close. If
Get
you're
fired
not
up.
even playing WoW, which a lot of the times outside the race world first, you play other games for.
Yo, that feeling when you get left out the group hug, and you're like, he's wondering like, yo, should I get it? Should I go in or is it too late? He's like min-maxing the group hug right now. Oh, hell no. He's like, damn, I could use a group hug right now.
WoW, which a lot of the times
my
outside
God.
the race world first, you play other games for, you know, most.
Look at him. Look at his eyes, bro. He's like, he makes the face like he thought about getting in, and then he's like, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see it, and he puts his head down like he's gonna walk by. Watch.
First, you play other games for.
Oh shit, that's funny.
You know, most of the farm period. A lot of these players are playing these games together. A new game comes out, there's 20 people hanging out, all playing the
dude.
game at the same time. It is. We are very, very close.
PhD
It's so funny.
hype.
Like when I was a hockey player, I feel like I was a terrible leader, and maybe I had to be a terrible leader at some point to be good at it and maybe see it done the wrong way. But like, I wasn't the captain of my team. I was someone who showed up late for practice.
Damn, bro.
Kind of didn't give a shit and was just
Dude.
able to.
This is crazy. This is the exact same thing that I was in high school. In high school, I was like the class clown, the guy who didn't work out, the guy who didn't try hard. I would have never been picked to be captain for my team. And now that I'm older, I feel like I would be, which is crazy.
You know, go off of my talent.
Something
and
switched
not
in
really
me.
Have to try very hard. And
Later in
honestly,
life.
I think I got really lucky. You know, this ended up working out really well for me and for our team. But I think it's a huge right place, right time thing. Like right now, in hindsight, I can say all of the classes I skipped and jobs I ended up quitting ended up being worth it because all this ended up happening. But I think it's very possible that we aren't quite this good, or I'm not quite as good or quite as lucky. And then I look at all of that and I'm like, man, you know what? I probably should have focused more on this and less about WoW, you know? Letting people go from this is the single hardest thing I do, but it almost feels bad saying it's hard for me because I know how hard it is for them. I don't have someone, you know, remove people from the guild for me. It has to come from me, I feel like. You're not only firing someone from their current job, you're also probably taking away the thing that makes them the most happy. This is their hobby and their passion and their job. And a lot of the times, it's not really because
True.
they're doing anything wrong. Yeah, having to remove people from the guild is genuinely the worst feeling that I've felt in my life. I've been pretty lucky in my life to not suffer a lot of like close loss or bad things to happen to me. I'm serious. I like have nightmares thinking about waking up and telling someone that I've played with for years and I've met in real life and I know like,
That's gotta
people
be
close
hard,
to
bro.
them. I've played thousands of hours of games with these people.
Bro,
And I have to be the one to tell them that
I can't imagine
this isn't going to be a thing anymore. And
like
this-
me telling Zaryu, like, bro, you're like a friend to me. But your DPS, it's too low. We're gonna have to get a different mage. That would crush me, guys.
This isn't like a lot of other
That would
sports where
crush
you
me
just
for
go
real.
Join the next best team. A lot of the times, there isn't another team to go and do this for your job. This is like it's the best place to do it, and it's like kind of the only place to do it, especially in region. I probably don't deal with it very well. It's not easy for me to just go on a walk or go for a workout or hang out with my dogs and forget something like that. It's like a major life impacting thing for another person. It's impossible. And yes, you can approach it like a business. You can say, yes, you know what? This is with no emotion involved, this is the exact right thing to do to make our team better, which is the only goal.
Yeah.
But on a human level, it's so personal and extremely hard to do. I think maybe the way that I deal with it is as bad as I ever feel having to do it. You know, I'm not doing anything wrong, but I have to do it. I know it feels much worse for them. So I would probably not ever want to put myself, like, as much as it sucks for me, and genuinely I hate it more than anything, obviously they're going through something so much worse. It's pretty brutal. Since we've started doing the race, it has been nothing but growth. Every single raid, the viewership numbers beat the previous one, and that's including with the player base going down over the course of an expansion usually. But it's grown into something more than WoW. So many people come up to me in real life that watch the race that don't even play WoW. It's like something unique about this that is so
Damn,
watchable,
THD needs to
especially
lose a
watching
couple
players'
pounds, bro.
POVs where, you
I'll
know,
hurt your
you're
back.
cheering a group of people that genuinely like each other, solve very hard problems, and play at the highest level. And being able to like witness that and hear that and like hear the ins and outs of it, there's really nothing like it. There's nothing like it in esports in general. And then the fact that it's community run and it's like kind of for the players, by the players, is definitely something that attracts a lot of
Yeah, I
people.
like that a lot too, man.
My ambitions for the future, I have like kind of like 2 lives right now. I'm like the top retail WoW content creator, so that's a big ambition of mine. But the thing is that will always fall behind the competitive side of it. In fact, months like these are really, really difficult because it's when I want to be creating the best and most content, but it always falls to the wayside, as it should for any kind of competitive obligations. It's so weird. The Race World First for me is by far the thing I like doing the most. If you were to take
We're gonna start the
streaming away
raid here in
from
a
it,
second.
You're gonna take the money and the exposure and the viewership and everything. It was just back to how it used to be, where it's off stream with your friends until it's over. That is what I like doing more than anything else in my life. That is how it is for me currently. I can't really see that changing. If that were to change, I would be the first person to step down. I actually feel pretty strongly about that. If I ever felt like I don't have the same passion for doing this, I'm never going to continue with the team and be that leader or person who's sticking around for the viewership. I would instantly try to always do the best thing for us to compete. But for now, WoW is everything. And we are all the way down with this. I really doubt I could ever see myself stopping.
Hell yeah. I'm never quitting WoW, boys. Damn, I'm fired up. Let's go. We had to watch that raid leader video before we go do Mythic raid with the boys today. I'm fired up now, baby. Max just got me ready to go.